you want to know my opinion on what I think, just keep on watching. Hey guys, what's good? It's your girl Nisi here, and I'm back with a new video. And in today's video, a big trigger warning. So I'm going to be talking about the football parade that happened in Liverpool. That's our neighbor to Manchester. So for my American and Canadian viewers, yeah, this is the UK news today. And yeah, this is worldwide news. France, a lot of European countries, Americans have been talking about it, and we're just in shock. So if you do not know, again, the whole football season is over and the Liverpool football team has won the cup. So obviously they're doing a whole parade and they're celebrating in their city. The Reds are out. And out of nowhere, this demonic demon has come in his car and just ran into people. It's a lot. And to hear that someone that was at the Manchester bombing and they survived that and they were at this event, and then I don't know if they got hit, but basically it was just a trigger for them. They're just like, oh my gosh, it's happening again. And with this, he piled into a crowd of people, and most of the people that got hurt were children. And just these festivals, concerts, parades, I don't want to say you can't bring your kids, but you just need to be careful. Like the summer, because obviously we're going into summer. Last year in July, there was the Southport unalivings. I can't even say the word on here. And that was in Southport. So basically, you have Manchester, you have Liverpool, and you have Southport. When like America or Canada speak on us, it's just really bad news. Like, you had the Manchester bombings, you have the Liverpool parade, and then you had the Southport unalivings. Like, what is actually going on? Please, when you go out, be careful, have your head on a swivel, because you just don't know. There were a lot of obviously police around, and apparently there were snipers, and some people left. I was watching someone's TikTok and they actually left because they were like, why is there so many snipers around? So, there might have been something in the grapevine. So they did have snipers on standby. But yeah, this just came out of nowhere. Obviously, initially when it first happened, they thought it might be a terrorist attack as usual. But no, it was just a demonic demon who, I don't know. Some people saying he's under the influence. All the information's not come out yet, but we do know his color, his age. Because when things do happen, we automatically think they're Asian or black and they're Muslim, for terrorist attack. But no, he's an old white man. He's in his 50s, and it's like, what are you doing? He's under so many charges, attempted murder, reckless driving. There's so many things he's under. For me, with the security, like, where was the security? Like, I don't get what was going on. When things like this happen in Manchester, like when Manchester City won and the city was blue, even regular people, I couldn't drive to town. Like, there's so many things that are shut down even before you get to the city centre. So for me, I don't get how he got so far. I know he was chasing behind that ambulance, so I don't know if a family member was in there, but that still doesn't give him the right to, drive through people. Like, hello, like no cars were there. It was just literally people, but they had to move to let the ambulance through. When there's festivals, concerts, like ambulance always have to be on standby because anything can happen. I mean, people can overheat, faint, heart attack, etc. But there was no reason for this psycho demon to do what he did. I'm gonna roll the clip. It's very sensitive. Please beware. Big trigger warning. I don't even know if I can show too much. It is blurred out, but I know YouTube is very sensitive when it comes to this stuff. So I'm only gonna like roll a snippet and then I'll be back with my commentary.
Fin de journée à Liverpool. Les supporters célébraient le titre de champion d'Angleterre des Reds quand un homme de 53 ans, originaire de la région, a roulé sur les gens.
We saw that the car run over people.
Listen, big up all the Scousers. Again, they're our neighbour to Manchester. Big them up. I love me some Scousers. They're so funny and I just love it. Like, I just love their energy. Listen, they were trying to drag him out the car. Like at one point, they opened his door. This is what I mean. He's not very smart because if you're gonna do something demonic like that, the common sense you would think would to lock your door. But one thing about them scouts is they will pull you out. And even when the feds did come, people were like gunning for him. He's lucky the police were there. But yeah, that guy that hit the back of his car and he reversed back. He lucky he didn't like fall over and the car like reversed over. Like, oh my God. Like, when I say you can't make this up, you can't make this up. It's sad because, they're celebrating. So now the celebration's been tarnished. I feel sorry for the footballers because, these are their fans that's come out to celebrate, and a lot of their young fans, aka children, have got hurt behind this. It's very sad and heartbreaking. And again, it's triggering for people that have been to other celebrations or other events and bad stuff has happened. Like, can we not have something in peace and just have a good time? Like, even me, this is why I don't like to go out. I've got tickets to the Chris Brown concert. Even things like that, there's park life coming up in 2 weeks. I used to go out a lot to all these stuff, but again, like after that Manchester bombing, I didn't go to a concert to a very long time because I was just like, I can't do it. Like my anxiety is always up, and even like those seats that are high up, I can't do it. Like I have to be on the ground just in case. You know what I mean? Because if something does happen and a stampede, sometimes it's not like the bombing or the explosion that killed; it's the stampede because everyone's just panicking and running. But shout out to my Scousers, the Liverpoolians. Like shout out to y'all, you held it down, and it's just sad. And thank God no one died. Like this could be a different story that I could be telling today, but I just still can't believe this has happened, man. Shout out to y'all though, and just prayers for anyone that was there, that's seen anything, that got hurt. There was a baby that got flung in the pram, and the mum was threatened. She's like, my child's gonna be unalive because the baby went flying. Like when I say this guy is so demonic, they need to lock him up. Like he shouldn't be in society under the influence or not, I don't care.
UK is now scrambling for answers after a 53-year-old man drove his car through a crowd in Liverpool yesterday, injuring nearly 50 people. Though with that, multiple sources have given conflicting numbers. Where the city's ambulance service claimed that it was 65, while Merseyside Police, which is helping with the investigation, says it was a flat 50. Though whatever the final number is, it feels miraculous that I only have to say injured, because it currently looks like no one was killed and the 11 people remaining in the hospital are in stable condition. And while the police are still trying to work through the whys of this situation, here's what we know. Thousands of people were out in the streets to take part in Liverpool FC's Premier League victory parade, and at some point an ambulance had to get through the crowd to treat someone and a barrier was lifted to let them through, with then the 53-year-old following the ambulance to get past the roadblock before plowing through the crowd. Right, and with this situation, there is footage that is very easy to find that I unfortunately can't show on YouTube because it's YouTube, but you have many saying the footage makes it unclear whether it was an intentional attack or not. Or with some saying it looks like the guy got into the crowd and people started hitting the car and then he drives off into the crowd and it's unclear if he got into there on accident, meant to be there or what. But whatever the case may be with that, first-hand accounts make it clear that it is a miracle that no one died. Right, you had one guy telling the BBC, I saw a gentleman on the bonnet and the rest was just chaos. With him then going on to add, my partner went under the wheel and the car went over her leg. And it could have been a whole hell of a lot worse for him as his baby stroller was thrown like 15 feet down the road. Now with that said, going back to the 53-year-old driver, he's facing a ton of charges right now, including attempted murder, dangerous driving offenses, and driving while unfit through drugs. Or with those last two seeming to be analogous to reckless driving and a DUI.
But follow to stay in the loop.
Shout out to him for speaking on it. As you know, he's obviously American. And again, a lot of people, like doing research for this video, there wasn't much like English people speaking on it. It was French, Spanish, and American. So shout out to y'all for shining a light. I think as the English, we're just in shock. Like, you know what I mean? It's conflicted, you know what I mean? A lot of Asians slash Muslims, or here comes the race play, you know what I mean? Because it's a white man, and it's just like this is not the time. And then you've got people taking digs about, well, if this was a different football team, this wouldn't have happened. And it's like there's a time and a place for everything in it. Like leave the jokes and the banter aside. Like this is really serious, and this could have happened anywhere with any football team. But yeah, this is what I mean. It's crazy. I don't know what the number is because again, it keeps changing. But yeah, let's just round it up to 50. But again, people were just seriously hurt, and we thank God that no one was killed. But if you see, like, again, I can't even show the actual footage, but if you type it in on YouTube or anywhere and you see it, it's miraculous that no one died because it's just like, it's crazy. Just that clip that showed you when he was reversing back. Like, if he would have fell, banged his head, or if the car just would have reversed over him, that's it. You just unalive that man for what? Just because he banged the back of your window screen, like. People, you know what I mean, bang my car, sit on it, do a badness all the time. That doesn't give me the right to go out there and unalive them or hurt them. Like, what kind of world are we living in? Like, what?
Because it's getting out of hand now. Is anybody worried about their health? Is anybody worried? No, because it's getting out of hand now. Is anybody worried about their health? Is anybody worried?
Yeah, guys, you heard that woman. Like, no, this is not okay. Like, the way she's like, is he good? Like, is everything good? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they came out later on saying it was his mental health. It's like, oh, here we go. You know what I mean? That's what I think they were blaming it on, that Southport, that it was his mental health. And it's just like, when are we going to stop this? I have mental health, but you don't see me going out there unaliving little kids or little girls. You know what I mean? Like, leave it, man. But again, apparently he was under the influence, and it's just like, and like people get drunk all the time, unless he was on that, the white stuff. But still, like, that doesn't give you the right to go out there and hurt a bunch of people, especially kids that are celebrating. Like, come on, man. It is. It's very triggering. It's just like the Southport. Like, they were at a Taylor Swift, little like holiday club. You know what I mean? They were celebrating, having a good time, doing dances and stuff. And then we all know how that ended. Like, it's just so sad that their parents let them go out that day, and the next time they were seen, they were unalive. Like, no, it's just crazy.
The driver was under the influence of drugs. It has just been confirmed on the press release. They also
Okay.
confirmed that the 53-year-old white male was the driver and he is from West Derby. They also confirmed that 11 people remain in hospital and they are of a stable condition and there has been no deaths. They also confirmed what I posted earlier. The driver was able to gain access to Water Street as he tailgated an ambulance. The ambulance was called to the parade due to a fan having a suspected heart attack. It is then the 53-year-old driver carried out that awful attack that left around 50 people needing hospital treatment. Again, they reiterated what I had posted earlier. There was no known intelligence to the police that there was going to be such an incident. And the reason there were snipers, police, emergency services at the scene was in line with the counter-terrorism policy which has been happening since 2017 in public events. They haven't revealed the name of the driver at the moment. All they told us is he's 53, white British and from West Derby. The driver has been arrested on suspicion of attempted murder and driving while unfit under the influence of substances.
Shout out to her, and I wish more scouts would like talk about it. It just makes it more real. I don't know, for my Americans and Canadians, like, that's the scouts accent right there, and as you can see from mine, it sounds very different. But yeah, shout out to her. She did a video and then she's just been keeping updates. So yeah, a white man, 53, from Derby. Like, I don't know where Derby is from Liverpool, and it's so sad because people have come from like Northern Ireland, down south, from up, from Scotland. Like, people have come all over to come and celebrate. And I like that she touched on, the snipers, the ambulance. Yeah, since the Manchester bombing, there's usually those type of people around, so that's just normal. But still, it makes you feel on edge. It's like, even in the airport since 9/11, obviously there's what you call it, those feds with guns. Obviously in America all feds carry guns, but in the UK it's only a certain type of fed that carries guns. Gosh, armed force is an armed force. So even when I go to the airport, I do like to travel, when I see them I am on edge because anything can happen, you know what I mean? And then, like, compared to America, it's not every day you see an AK-47 or a long, you know what I mean? It's not those little short, it's a long gun. Like, that's not an everyday thing over here in the UK. So when you see it, it's just like, ooh, you know what I mean? And again, if you're looking up at buildings and you're just seeing snipers there, it just gives you a weird feeling. Like, it's not you know what I mean? But here to celebrate, to party, and you just see bare snipers up in the buildings. I know it's for our safety, but still, it just makes you like that, got that irky feeling like something might happen. And look, sadly, something did happen. Crazy.
Police have just done a press conference about the incident that happened at the Liverpool Parade yesterday. Let me explain. So this is Assistant Chief Constable Jenny Smith. She was the person that was giving everybody the information about what happened yesterday. She started off by thanking the victims and witnesses that have helped with the police investigation. Of all this, we now know exactly why this was allowed to happen. Because as we know, the man that was driving this car has been detained and he's now been arrested. He's a 53-year-old suspect and he's been arrested on suspicion of attempted murder, dangerous driving offences and driving while while unfit through substances. They said that the suspected driver of the car is believed to have followed an ambulance onto Water Street, which had previously been blocked. Access had been temporarily lifted to the emergency vehicle so first responders could attend to a person suffering from a suspected heart attack, because originally, obviously, that road was blocked off. From this incident, 50 people are said to have been injured and 11 remain in hospital currently. But authorities have said that these 11 people still in hospital are recovering well and they're in stable condition. Nothing was mentioned about casualties, so it looks like everybody in this incident managed to survive, which is obviously amazing. Police have said that they'll continue to support the victims of this attack, and there's currently an extensive CCTV search going on so they can better understand the movements of the driver. But police have repeated that this is not being treated as a terror-related event. They've also asked the public not to speculate on the driver's motivations behind this attack, but police have now been given an extension to question this suspect. Obviously, unless a suspect is actually charged with a crime, they can only hold them for a certain amount of time. They have been given an extension to Wednesday lunchtime, which is tomorrow, to question this suspect. It's also been reported that Yvette Cooper, the Home Secretary, will be in Liverpool City Centre this evening. She's expected to visit the police cordon where the car was driven into the crowd, and she's also expected to meet emergency personnel, which I think is a really nice touch. And my thoughts and prayers go out to all the victims of this attack and anybody who might have been affected by this, and every penny that I make from this video will be going to charities that help during the Liverpool Parade. Hopefully all these people in that crowd get their justice soon.
Yeah, shout out to him. Like you said, all the proceeds that he makes from his video will be going to the people that have been affected. That's good. And it's mad because people in Parliament, obviously Parliament's in London, and for so like recently they've just been coming up north a lot. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Again, we had the Southport, you know, Keir Starmer had to come up, and now the secretary is gonna come up to Liverpool. It's just like, what is actually going on? But yeah, like they said, the ambulance, someone sadly had a heart attack, and then obviously he was chasing behind that. Listen, I don't know if it was his family member, his wife, like who cares? But he had no right to do what he did. You know what I mean? Like, no, like I get it, you want to chase the ambulance, because that's why I'm thinking, why would security let him through? But if that's the case, he should be in the ambulance with the family member, you know what I mean? Like you shouldn't be driving behind it. Nah. And in that time now, you've hurt more people. So like he stated, they can only hold him until Wednesday tea time. I'm currently filming this. It's Wednesday, but I probably won't put it out until Thursday. So yeah, I'll keep you up to date with what's going on. But again, I'm still in shock, man. I just can't believe it. But we thank God that no one was unalived.
Huh. Isn't it a bit fishy when the media suddenly is able to release all the details of the person responsible for the Liverpool car ramming situation within the space of, say, an hour since it happened? They was quick with this one. In comparison to all the other times this kind of thing has happened, because we all knew there was motives involved in those kind of situations, which is why we always assume the worst and the worst. But when it comes to this one, they was very quick. White Brit, 53, arrested after the car plows into Liverpool fans at Parade. They went out with that like within the space of an hour. Compare that to the Welsh choir boy situation. Really strange, that isn't it? But let's see what else it says. Now don't worry, you're going to be getting comments going, white British and all this kind of stuff. But just take into account for 1 second, right? The British public assume the worst of the worst with this whole situation, and that's because it's been a continuous trend. So, you know, no smoke without fire, mate. Witnesses say he saw police restrain people smashing the car that collided with the crowds. You've probably been able to see the actual video of it as well. It's like taken like 5 seconds before the car actually goes into the crowd. And yeah, it kind of looks like they're attacking the car, and then it happens. So who knows right now, but it did look a bit like, ooh, but he could have avoided the crowd at least, because people were saying that there was apparently space there. It's all a bit up in the air at the minute. There's nothing being said about the actual victims at the moment either. But you know, fingers crossed. That's what we're seeing at the moment. I'm just saying, Welsh quiet boy, all this kind of stuff. Yeah, get ready for the comments.
Listen, I hear what he's saying, but again, this is not the time or the place. It's like, read the room. I'm glad that they put all the information out straight away and going forward, because we know there's going to be other incidents, sadly, that will happen like this. Hopefully, they be putting out the information straight away. I don't care the color, I don't care the religion, I don't care about the age. Because with the Southport, they were like, oh, it's because he's not 17 or 18 yet. I was like, I don't care. If you can unalive a bunch of people, all your information needs to be laid out. I don't care. But yeah, again, this is not the time for that, but I do get what he's saying.
No way am I seeing right-wing people saying, oh, it's interesting, isn't it, how quick they've announced the race of the Liverpool attacker? They don't usually announce it that quick. They're announcing it this quick because last time they didn't announce it in 0.3 seconds flat. You looted every Greggs in the country and set fire to every hotel you could find. They're trying to prevent Jim, Fred and Paul from going out there, nicking all the bath bombs from Lush and putting a brick through Weatherspoon's window. That's why they're announcing it tonight.
Yeah, I had to play her clip after him because basically she's answering his question like, oh, isn't it funny that yeah, because the last time this happened, which was the Southport unalivings, you mashed up the UK, you know what I mean? She makes me laugh, not breaking into Greg's and stealing all the, you know what I mean, the sausage rolls and that. But jokes aside, I'm glad they put the information out ASAP, and I hope again going forward, I don't care about the person, you know what I mean, the evil demonic person. Put all that information out as the public. We have a right to know. You know what I mean? You could be hiding their, identity while we could be living with them, walking past them. Like, listen, when I say that the Southport unalivings made the UK so scary, like it was during the summer. My neighbour, she was due to go Blackpool, which is near Manchester, Liverpool, and Southport, and she couldn't go. All like trains got cancelled, outings got cancelled because there was a lot of protesting. There was a lot of looting. There was, you know, what I mean, a lot of fights, a lot of people, just beating on people. Like it was a very scary time. So that summer, I just stayed in. I was just like, it's not worth me getting caught up in something that I have absolutely nothing to do with. You know what I mean? I even wanted to go down there and lay some flowers, but just because of my race, it wouldn't be safe. Because the boy that did do the unaliving, he was my shade of color. You know what I mean? But yeah, I did do a video because obviously he finally got sentenced and things like that. So if you've not seen it, do check it out, and I'll try and link it at the end of this video. But yeah, I liked her clap back. That was very nice and so true. Everything she said, like.
Good morning. Seems to be a bit more information about the Liverpool incident. And apparently one of the people who got injured and caught up in the incident was one of the survivors of the Manchester fucking arena attack. He's done an interview and he's put, oh my God, it's not happening again, is it? This is my point, people. This is my point. Don't know what people go through and what struggles and anxiety they have in crowded areas, because what we've seen in Europe in the past 20 years. And this is my point. Initially, most people, just those people who want to be different, are going, oh, I thought he was a drunk driver because it's in Liverpool. So what, you're saying everybody in Liverpool's a drunk driver, is it? I'm going to flip the script on you. These things will haunt people for the rest of their lives, and nobody was in the wrong in thinking that it was what it was. They're saying today we would probably get to the bottom of it, and I think they're going to name and show us who he is and stuff like that, and why he did it. But yeah, imagine that happening again to you, and everyone survived it.
Yeah, shout out to him, and he made some really good points. Like that is so sad. Like, can you imagine you survived and the Manchester bombings was so horrific again, that put me off going to concerts. Before that I loved going out, concerts, bars and stuff, but you can never be too safe. But yeah, can you imagine going to this and you're just like, oh my gosh, it's happening again? Like it's just a big trigger. Like just the thought of it, I'm just like, because again, that Manchester bombing, I don't live too far from the city centre, so when the bombings did go down, yeah, I could hear it. You could see, you know what I mean. You could see smoke. Like it was obviously at night, like it was quite dark, but you know what I mean. Like you could hear the ambulances, the police. You know what I mean? Because literally, the whole station from different like boroughs had to come out again because where I'm not trying to put where I live, but where I live is not far from town. So obviously the police station, I don't live too far from that, so you could hear the sirens going. I don't live too far from a hospital, so then you could hear the ambulance. That was a crazy night, crazy night. But yeah, I agree with everything he said in that clip. Like, just all I can say is just be careful. You know what I mean? You can't stop living. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you literally got to keep your head on the swivel. Like, have a good time, but still be like, you know what I mean? Always know where the exit doors are, the fire extinguishers, if you need to press a certain button, security, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
I'm going to say this. I hope that the police and the media didn't lie about the man behind the wheels. If the man is not a white British male, if the police and the media lie to the people, believe me, it's gonna get very nasty very quickly. So I hope they didn't lie. Because if they did, fucking hell, you don't wanna know. So now we have to wait and see the picture of the man.
Listen, I get what he's saying, and that's coming from a black African. He's giving African a black African man. Like if they lied, but I think they did learn from the Southpaw unalivings. But you couldn't even lie with him because again, at one point they did open his car and people saw his face. You know what I mean? And even when they dragged him out, and you know what I mean, the Scousers were gunning for him. The feds had him on the ground, so people have seen him. But someone, I did look in someone's TikTok in the comments, and someone said it's funny how no one's come out and they said, "Oh, he's my neighbor," or "I work with him," or "Oh, that's John, that I know him." That is very, you know what I mean. But again, who would want to associate with that? Like, if he was my neighbor, I'd be like, I don't know him. Like, there's no way I'm coming out and saying he's my neighbor. Because then people be like, oh, where do you live? We're pulling up to it. You know what I mean? It can get very techy, and you know what I mean? Especially because people just keep hurting kids. Like, listen, there's a very boiling point. The UK is becoming very divided, and I do feel like a big race war will happen. If reform get into parliament, then that might change things. But with Labour, aka Labour, like it's literally like whites on one side, Asians on the other, and the black people are just kind of like, you know what I mean? Because it's kind of like the Christians or the Catholics versus the Muslims. You know what I mean? But yeah. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments on this crazy story. And if you come from Liverpool and if you were there and you see this video, praise to you. I hope you're doing well and let me know in the comments. And yeah, guys, like I always say at the end of my video, stay safe, especially when you're doing outdoors and activities. But yeah, please like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Stay safe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.